Hello, my name is Amy. I am from Evolve Fitness. We have locations in Halifax, Dartmouth, Bedford, and Elmsdale, Nova Scotia. Or you can join us from anywhere in the world via our virtual program or right here on YouTube. Today, I'm going to take you through just a 10-minute full body foam rolling routine. Now, whenever we're foam rolling, the important thing to keep in mind is that you need to find a position that is comfortable for you, and you need to control the pressure that you're putting on your muscles. So I'm going to encourage you throughout the 10 minutes just to kind of play around with your positioning, with exactly how you're supporting yourself. I'm going to be spending about 40 seconds to a minute on each kind of body area. Feel free at any point to pause me if you feel like you want to spend more time there, or you can also follow along down in the caption section of this video and kind of do this to your own time as well. So we are going to start with our quads, which is the front of our upper legs. So we're going to lay this foam roller flat on the ground, and we're going to come into almost like a plank position, but we're just going to relax our legs down over top of the foam roller. Now you control the pressure that you have here, but you can push your toes into the floor, or you can pick your toes right up if you want a little more pressure. But essentially what we're going to do is just kind of rock ourselves back and forth here a little bit, rolling up and down, trying to relax those quads as much as we can over top of that foam roller. We're just going to hang out here for a little bit. Now you might find that you're in a good position to do kind of the top half, and then after a few seconds you want to roll down and get a little bit more of the bottom half of those quads. Again, just try and relax, try to find your comfortable position here. We're just going to hang out here for about another 20 seconds or so. Again, you decide what feels good to you here. Just rolling back and forth. Awesome. All right, so we're going to actually move on to our glutes now. So our glutes are those muscles over our bum. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do this one kind of on an angle here so that you can try to see a couple of positions. So you're going to start just by sitting on top of the foam roller. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to kind of lean back into one hand. Again, you decide exactly what's comfortable for you here. Cross one leg over top so that ankle is kind of over that knee. Now, the leg that is crossed up, that's the side that we're working on. So we're going to spend a little bit of time on both sides here. And then, again, play around with where that foot is. Play around with how much pressure you're putting down on the foam roller. And we're just going to kind of rock back and forth here. Twist yourself around, again, like you decide what feels good to your body. You decide what position is best for you. That's the great thing about foam rolling. We just want to kind of gently roll back and forth here. Again, relax into that foam roller as much as you feel comfortable. If you find a spot that feels really tight, you may want to just kind of hang out on that spot for a few seconds. Just gently rolling back and forth. Awesome. All right, we are going to switch sides now. So again, just leaning kind of over to in the other direction, crossing that foot over the knee. And then we're now working our other side. Again, just gently roll back and forth. Control how much pressure you're putting into those glutes. Hopefully this is feeling good. Very normal for this to be slightly painful, but we don't want it to be super painful, and hopefully it feels really good once you come off of it. All right, awesome. We are now going to move on to our hamstrings. So our hamstrings are the back of our upper thigh. So what we're going to do is kind of sit ourselves behind the foam roller so that our hamstrings are kind of draped over top. And then what we want to do is put your hands kind of behind you somewhere and try to pick your hips up off the floor. And then from there, again, you can pick your feet up. If you want a little more pressure, you can relax your feet down. But again, we just want to kind of roll ourselves back and forth, just trying to relax those legs over the foam roller. You can gently drag your feet up the floor. Again, you control the pressure you put here. You also may want to try this. If you feel like you're not getting much out of both legs here, you could also try crossing one foot over and doing one leg at a time here. Again, whatever feels best to you. We'll hang out on the hamstrings for a few more seconds. Play around with your hand position. Again, encouraging you to find the spots that feel good to you, however you want to support yourself. All right, let's move on. Now we're going to move down to our calves, which is the back of our, the bottom of our legs. So essentially we're going to set up almost the same as we did the hamstrings, but the foam roller is now going to be under our calves. We're going to support ourselves on our hands, try to pick our hips up, and then from there we're going to roll back and forth. Now you might find that bending the knees here is very helpful. You can kind of roll your legs to the sides a little bit, to the outside. You can point your toes in together to get a little more of the inside. And again, you can experiment here with doing one leg at a time if you feel like that's a good amount of pressure for you, or you can do both together. And again, just adjust yourself as needed so that you can get different areas of the calves. We will hang out here for a few more seconds. Awesome. All right, so we're going to move on now to our IT band. So our IT band runs right up the side of your thighs, kind of from your hips down to your knees. This one can be a very sensitive area to foam roll. So again, always encouraging you to play around with your positions, play around with how much pressure you're actually putting on that. So what we want to do, and this one is a little more kind of detailed to get into. So what we want to do is we want to start by, I'm just going to sit my hip on the side of the foam roller, and then I'm going to bring my back leg over to the front and plant my foot down in front of that leg. This foot is just kind of relaxed down on the floor. And then this hand, again, is supporting my upper body. You put that in a spot that feels good to you. It can be out to the side a little bit. Now, I also like to plant this hand down. Some people will like to have it kind of up on their hip, playing around with that. And then what we're going to do is just kind of try to roll that leg, the side of that thigh, up and down that foam roller. Again, control how much pressure you're putting on it. This one can be a very sensitive area. And you can, again, play around with. If you feel like you can't quite reach the bottom of the IT band, you might want to move your positioning and work on the bottom half for a few seconds, then come back to the top half. And again, you can play with like how much you're facing the floor, how much you're completely on your side. All right, we're not going to spend too much time on that painful area. We are going to switch sides now. So again, we're going to start by just kind of sitting the side of that hip on the foam roller. This leg is going straight out. We're going to step the back foot over to the front, supporting ourselves on one hand or on two hands, and then we're just going to gently roll back and forth. You can keep that foot on the ground, let it drag up and down. You can pick it up. Again, you control your setup here. You control how much pressure you're putting onto this. Again, I know this one can be a very sensitive area. We're just going to hang out here for a few more seconds. Awesome. All right, so we're going to move on now up to our kind of low back and more specifically our QL muscle. So that's a kind of a back muscle, kind of runs from our side around into our spine down here. Let me just adjust my mic a little bit. And so to set this one up, what we're going to do is start by just kind of like lying back a little bit on the foam roller. Then what we're going to do is actually roll to the side a tad. So now I'm kind of resting on this elbow, this hand. Again, play around with that exact position. You play around with exactly where your feet are. We essentially just want to be kind of to the side a little bit here, not completely on our side. And then what we're going to do, again, just try to relax into the foam roller a little bit. You will find the spots that feel good to you, and you might have to play around with you know, you might be facing up a little bit more, you might be facing a little more to the side. Everybody's a little bit different here. And we're just gonna, again, just try to relax onto that foam roller, rolling up and down a little bit. And if you find a spot that feels like it's really tight, you might want to just like hang out there for a few seconds, then go back to rolling. All right, so now we are going to move on. We're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. So I'm just going to flip around so you can still see how I'm setting up here. So again, start by just lying back over the foam roller a little bit and then roll a little bit to the side. You put your feet wherever is comfortable, you put your arms wherever is comfortable. Just try to relax that kind of side back muscle over that foam roller. And we're just rolling back and forth a little bit. And again, I encourage you to pause this video at any time if you want to spend more time here. Or like I said, you can go through the video just to get the demos, and then you can, the exercises are all listed in the caption of this video, and you can just go at your own pace through them as well. We'll hang out here for a few more seconds. Awesome. All right, so we're going to go on to our upper back now. And for our upper back, again, we just want to kind of lay back onto the foam roller, a little bit higher, so I'm about halfway up my back here. Again, you can play around with that. And then what we're going to do, I'm going to bring my hands just kind of up to my side, almost like I'm going to do a sit-up or something. And then I'm going to push my feet down, pick my hips up off the floor. You can clasp your hands here to support your head a little bit. You can hold yourself up. You, again, play around with your exact position. I like to hold my hair out of the way a little bit. And we're just going to gently push up and down over our upper back area, up behind our shoulders a little bit. You might want to experiment with pulling your elbows right in front of your face. That'll get your mid back a little bit more. You can also experiment with bringing your elbows down flat. That will get the back of your shoulders a little bit more. Again, this is all about what feels good to you. We'll hang out here for a few more seconds. All right, and then the last part that we are going to do, we're going to actually dig into those muscles at the very base of our neck. This is one of my absolute favorite things to do with the foam roller. We all know how cranky those muscles can get back here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to relax down, drape our neck over the foam roller. Now, again, I encourage you to play around with your exact spot here. You might be up a little bit more under your head. You might be down a little more under your neck. And then what we're going to do, just completely relaxed here, and then I'm just going to very slowly and gently just rock my head side to side. And you will feel it digging into those, or you should feel it digging into those little muscles at the base of your skull. And again, you can play around with your exact foam roller position here. Spend as much time as you need to here. Again, just very slowly and gently rocking back and forth. All right, well, I could stay here all day if I don't stop now. So that is just a very general overall full body foam rolling routine. I hope that you find that helpful. Again, encourage you always to play around with your exact positions, how you're supporting yourself, how much pressure you're putting into the foam roller, and also how long you are spending on each area. Hope you enjoyed that, and I will see you again soon.